What's up, guys? A HELOC, also known as a home equity line of credit. Is that really the best vehicle to pay my mortgage off in 5 years or less? Let's talk about it. So, HELOC, home equity line of credit. Should I use a HELOC to pay off my mortgage very quickly? I'm going to say no. The reason why is because it can be taken away from you at any time. All right. I'm sure you guys on YouTube have been checking out various strategies and how to pay your house off in 5 years or less, and these velocity bankers use it to pay off all your debt, etc. And while it sounds very good, it works perfectly when it's working perfectly, right? But think about it like this: if you had a place where you can go get money, right? You can use that money as long as you pay it back. But then all of a sudden, that money source is just taken away from you, and you could have been paying the bill on time. You're not exceeding the balance or coming close to the end of the balance, and they decide just to say, "Hey, you can't do it anymore." No, you didn't do anything wrong, but you just can't do it anymore. We're taking away this line of credit. That's the risk of a HELOC. And again, I'm not going against totally what these strategists are saying, especially these people who practice velocity banking. But why would you want to risk not being able to lose that source anymore? Why would you want to risk that? For example, let's say you have a house worth $500,000. You only owe $300,000. So get about a $200,000 difference, right? As far as equity is concerned. Now you go get approved for a HELOC, let's say up to $100,000. So the velocity banking strategy, well, level surface, I'm sure there are more details to it, but I'm going to keep it very simple here. So you would take, let's say, $30,000 from that HELOC. So now that leaves you with $70,000, obviously, on the balance that you still have access to. And you make a lump sum payment on your mortgage. Great. Now, how are we going to refund that HELOC? You're going to start taking your paycheck and start making payments back to the HELOC, right? Catching the interest on that, catching the interest, right? Then, a little further down the road, you can come back and make another lump sum payment. Meanwhile, you're paying your other debts down through your regular paycheck, right? At some point, you want to get those debts paid down, they're paid off. Now you can dump more money back into your HELOC to in turn do what? Take another lump sum payment from your HELOC to pay down your mortgage even more. So this strategy kind of goes on and on and on. And again, when it's working well, sure, great, works perfectly, right? But this is the part that most people don't look at. And it's the most important part. What if the bank decides to call the loan? And what that means is they decide to take away that line of credit. And you may not have done anything wrong at all, but they decide that we're not extending you this line of credit anymore. Now what are you going to do when you caught what I call holding the bag? Because you got a balance on your HELOC. And you know what I mean? Like, you just put yourself, in my opinion, more in debt than you were before, right? That's the risk, you know? So, because I have clients that we help with our Get Out of Debt program, and some of them already have HELOCs. They have outstanding HELOCs, and a couple of them ran into that same very issue. The bank closed the HELOC on them, right? And they were actually using the HELOC to, emergencies, home repairs, additions to their homes, etc. So that debt was kind of standing there, but it wasn't a large debt. In one example, one of my clients had a HELOC of $60,000, had only used about $4,500 of the HELOC, and they called it on them. They, you can't use it anymore. They closed it. For whatever reason, that's what can happen. So imagine you're into this thing 60, 70,000, and you're doing your velocity banking strategy to pay your home off, and they take that HELOC away. So for those of you who are considering a HELOC, this is what I want you to do. So the person that's looking to help you out with this, ask them a question. And I want you to ask them this question. Hey, what happens if I've made a couple lump sum payments on my HELOC, right? Using my HELOC to pay down my mortgage. What happens if the bank says I can't have the loan anymore? What if they call that loan? What if they close it? That's what call the loan means. They close it, right? What do I do then? Ask them that question, get those results, and if they're honest with you, they're going to probably do this. Well, you got to start paying the debt off, right? You're interested in getting out of debt. guaranteed way to get out of debt without all the BS and the tricks and things like that. My dog here with me. Hit the link below and sign up for the masterclass. It's about a 30-minute class. Goes over what we call Your Family Bank. We're helping individuals get out of debt in 9 years or less, including your mortgage. And if you're not interested in learning your numbers, at least, you're gonna probably run into some other issues, because most people that we're speaking with are fed up with being in debt. Most people that we are talking to, they're not sure they're gonna have a great retirement. Right? So take a look at the webinar and at least get your numbers so you can see what it will look like for you to get out of debt based on your current debt situation. You can see what your years will look like based on the path you're on right now, right? Most of us are on a path to be in debt another 15, 20, 30 years sometimes after we retire. So you tell me how you're gonna get out of debt as you go into retirement, living on less income than you were living on before, or maybe even the same income. So I like to tell my clients this: if you keep doing what you're doing, you will always be doing what you're doing. So check out the masterclass. Also, please like and subscribe to the channel if some of this information was valuable to you. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you for checking out today's episode. If you found some value in what you saw today, please go ahead, hit that like button for me. It's a thumbs up. Boom, hit that for me. And also subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on the next episode. And as always, run your race.